Hello, everybody. I thought I'd just get on here and just say hi to you guys. For it's been a while since I've been on here. Well, no, it hasn't been a while, really. It's been. Well, anyway, I thought I'd just get on here. There's, been busy this week doing things and getting things around, but I thought I'd just get on here and share some things that are kind of bothering me. You know, uh, I was watching Reagan's post the other day, which is really cool. I like watching her post. She has my complete okay to post whatever she wants, whenever she wants, and whatever she wants to do. She's my best friend so far there in Colorado. A lot of things that bother me. Timmy passing away. Timmy gets not passing away. I'm gonna stop saying that. Timmy getting murdered by the police. That's a hard thing, man. Because there's a lot of stuff that just never did fit. Nothing fit. And I've been on here before, and I've been the grieving dad. I'm still grieving. Don't get me wrong. I'm grieving. I'm gonna grieve probably for the rest of my life over this one. But I want to clear some things up too. Why I'm on here. Reagan is not getting used by me or anybody else. I don't know who posted that. I'm going to go back and look at that. And I don't know what you meant by that. She's not getting used by me. She's helping me. When Timmy got murdered over there by the police, which they're all freaking liars, and they covered it up from day one. From day one, from the second they murdered Tim, they covered it up. I live in California. His mother and his brother live in Texas. So these cops thought that they would just cover this up and get away with it. It's easy. Timmy only lived there. He was here, living here with me. He lived here with me all the way up till July 21st, I believe it was. He just moved to Colorado. He just moved there, man. A job for Amazon. He worked for Amazon, man, and they moved him there. And you guys already know all this. But, and then these cops, they murdered my kid. They murdered my son. This is my son, man, we're talking about here. And, yeah, I'm pissed off a little bit right now. And I'm not always the nice guy that's boo-hooing and stuff. I'm gonna boo-hoo over that. That's fine. But my son didn't deserve to be blown away by cops, especially when there's too much evidence after we've been going through this flash drive of supposedly that they investigated. It's all a bunch of bullshit. And I'm sorry, man, but there's a lot of things that in that thing there that these guys put out there. We're trying to. I've always said no. Timmy didn't do that. He didn't do that. Timmy didn't do that. I knew that from day one. Day one when I heard about it. There's no way my son did all that, and I've always stood by it. Supposedly he has a knife. He's fucking chasing after cops. That's crazy too. That's totally crazy. Tim wouldn't need a knife. He's this kid. I call him a kid. It feels kind of weird. People calling him a man. To me, he's my son, and he's always going to be my son. I know he's 27 years old. He's a man. He's an adult. But he played semi-pro football. He was a middle linebacker. He played fullback, middle linebacker. He played that all the way up from 7 years old and to 27 years. So 20 years of playing football. Do you really think if he was going to fight somebody or somebody was after him that he was going to go grab a knife? Now he would just tear you up. And I've got pictures. I've got, of him in live game action, blowing people up with, you know, just hitting them and knocking them down, knocking them cold and stuff. You know, so that's off the table. That pulling knives and all that stuff, that's ridiculous. And they think we're going to buy it. But what they don't tell you in a lot of stuff, and what we have never brought out is 30 minutes before Timmy was supposedly. Okay, here's the thing. They said it was a burglary in progress. And the cops come out there. The same cop, Engelberg, that was the guy's name, the officer's name that came out there early in the morning. Tim was on a bad trip. He'd done some coke or something, and I know cocaine don't make you flip out and do stuff like that. I know that. And but he was up on top of this vehicle at 9 o'clock that morning, and he was needing help. He actually told the owner of the truck to call the police, to call the ambulance. Well, they come out there, and Engelberg, Louis Engelberg, he's the first one on the scene. He's the first officer on the scene. Well, he talks him down, and you know, and they put Timmy in the ambulance. The ambulance was there, and they put him in the ambulance. And I don't have. I was going to do this. I was going to look at the medical report before I got on here and talked about it. But they hooked him up to a heart monitor machine, high blood pressure machine. We're talking about a person that has his heart rate was like 115, 120 beats per minute. His blood pressure was like 160 to 170. But yet they don't take him to the hospital. So that's another piece of bullshit that they should have did, because I have high blood pressure, and I just went to my doctor the other day, and with all this stuff that I'm going through right now, I went in there and they pumped me up with that little machine thing they have there, and my blood pressure was running probably about, it was like 101, 102 beats per minute, and you know, my blood pressure was like 160, I believe it was. My doctor wouldn't let me leave the doctor. He wouldn't let me leave the doctor's office. He had me lay down on the bed, turned off the lights, in a calm, cool room until my blood pressure started to go back down. Of course, I'm telling him I'm all right. He says, no, by medical law, he cannot release me with a blood pressure that high. And all doctors, anywhere you go, any doctor that hooks you up and treats you, if your blood pressure is high, they cannot by law let you go. And that's not just that's not just here in California. That's federal. That's everywhere. A doctor has to treat you. Because if they don't, you walk outside and you drop dead in the parking lot, they're liable. They're liable for it. So anyway, so they just left Timmy there. They just left him there. And there's all kinds of conflicting stories about where they left him. So anyway, this kid, my son, he's there all day long hallucinating. Okay, now he got chased up there. He told the cops that he was chased up there by a pack of wild German Shepherd puppies. Puppies, come on, puppies. Puppies ain't gonna they're not gonna do anything to you, even if there was 10 of them. They ain't gonna do anything to you. Well, bite, chew on your ankles, you know? They're not aggressive. Okay. Now, if it would have been wild dogs, that would have been a different story. You know, you'd be afraid of them. But so, anyway, they end up not taking him, and his blood pressure charts, his heart rate is, you know, up there really high, which is legally reasonable that they should have took him in. At least took him in to the hospital to where they can evaluate him and find out what's going on. And then come back later and blow him away. And the same officer, the one that was with him in the morning, is the first one on there. Okay, so we listened to the 911 calls. Okay, and we can't put them on here for you to hear, but the dispatch comes on there and says there's a burglary in progress, And Engelberg, which is they announce his number, his badge number. I guess that's his badge number. He's the first one to respond to it. And the dispatch asks him, did you transport that medical issue this morning? And he writes back, he says back, negative. And he's the first one on the scene. So, okay, now this guy, this cop that is paid by us, and I don't live in Colorado, but I pay federal. Yeah, he's paid by us. He's the first one on the scene. Okay, so now I'm going to back up a little bit because 30 minutes before all this happens, you know, there's Timmy, he's out on this trail. He's walking on this trail, and he's talking to his girlfriend, Kristen, at the time. Yeah, her name's Kristen King. She's been a real help, you know. Yeah, he moved there with her. And she's gone. She don't care. She don't care. She only checks in now and then just to see where the investigation's going, just to keep her butt out of trouble. That's all it is, because she's lying. She's a liar. She's probably a star witness for the cops. But yeah, I'm just tired of not talking about any of this. I see you there, Reagan. I'm just tired of not being able to say anything. And these are all facts that I'm talking about right now. So, I mean, and this is what we set this YouTube up for, is to get the information out there that people need to know. People need to know this. And these are all facts. This is not something we're just saying that we're just thinking, oh, we're putting our heads together and we're trying to figure out what freaking happened. Because we're not trying to figure out what happened. We already know what happened. You know? And sorry if somebody's name got mentioned that should have been mentioned a long time ago, but that somebody, Kristen King, should have stepped up to the plate a long time ago and dealt with this. You know? I mean, you say you love him. You don't love him. You don't care about him. Care about him one bit. If you cared about him, you would have done a lot more than you did. Instead of telling me, going, oh, well, I'm so sorry for the police officers' families. Forget the police officers' families. They just killed my kid. They just murdered my kid. Shot him 11 times. And you know what? They said that there was like 5 apartments that had been broke into. Okay, so now you guys that are watching this, you're the audience. You do the math. How does this one man bust into 5 apartments within 30 minutes of time with a knife in one hand or a pipe? One guy can't make up his mind if he had a knife, or another guy says he had 2 knives. But yet, when they kill him, he's laying there dead, and his phone is 2 feet from his freaking hand. He walked out that apartment door, or if he did, because now we have an officer, an investigating officer, that this kid supposedly, that Timmy was supposedly busted in the door and told the guy, help me, somebody's trying to kill me. Well, he was telling Kristen King out there on this trail that there's people following him, and he was freaking out, and she's telling him just to go home, and she's not even really at work at this time. She's out getting pizza for somebody at work. But yet the person that you're supposed to love is out there hallucinating. Don't you think you would drop going and getting pizza and go to the person that you say that you love? You know? It's just crazy stuff, man. Just crazy stuff. I don't buy it for one bit. And, you know, I just, you know, there's a lot of things about this that don't make a lot of sense. And it's all going to come out. You know, and there's so much more. But anyway, Timmy was supposedly finally broken into one of these apartments. He busted through the door, and he tells the guy, help me, somebody's trying to kill me. And then Timmy turns around and starts walking out the door, and then you can hear the dispatch. You hear them talking. The dispatch, you can hear this kid, Ethan, talking to dispatch, and he says he hears somebody saying, stop, don't. And then you hear gunshots. Okay. Engelberg was the first guy on the scene. He knew, right? Remember, I just told you that when they asked him earlier, that medical, did you transport that medical? No, he didn't do his job in the morning. So now my son has been out there all freaking day, knowing what, who knows what's going through his mind. I mean, you know, he's hallucinating, seeing dogs, seeing things that weren't there. He's on a trail. Now he's on a trail. He's seeing people chasing him. But did he really see people chasing him? Was there really people chasing him? Because now this kid, Ethan, as the cops get him out of the apartment and start taking him down to put him into the police car after they just blew my son away, he looks down at my son and says, "That's not the man that was in my house." And I just read the report. He said the man that came into my house was a bald-headed Hispanic man. Timmy's not bald-headed. Timmy's not Hispanic. So you do the math. And then to back up a little bit further, when Timmy walked out that freaking door, that cop started shooting him. Engelberg, first guy on the job, starts shooting him right away. Yeah, because he knew he didn't do his job in the morning. Oh, Timmy charged them. Okay, so I know I've already shared this before. The area that we're talking about is probably about a 10 by 20 area, and there's a guardrail, and then there's the apartment buildings or whatever. The only way Timmy could get out of there was to go towards the cops. And believe me, human nature, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. I don't care how tough you think you are. Human nature. Somebody's shooting guns at you, you're going to try to get away. But yet my son didn't have that chance. He didn't have that chance because he held his cell phone in his hand the whole freaking time. Yeah. He held it in his hand the whole time he was getting shot. And then the bullet in the back of his neck in a downward position. How is that? How has that happened? See, there's just so much about this case. It's just totally stupid. Totally stupid. And I'm pissed off about it. And I'm pissed off about a lot of things. I'm pissed off that my son is dead and gone. I'm pissed off about it. And I should be pissed off about it. And then when you call these freaking Westminster Police Department, you know, they just freaking give you the runaround. Run around. Talk to this guy. Talk to that guy. You know, we delivered a message there, you know. And we're trying to do this. I pray. I walk with Jesus. I walked with the Lord for a lot of years. And, you know, and vengeance is the Lord's. I know this. I know all this stuff. I know this stuff. And I talk to God every day. I pray God every morning. I talk to him all day long. I pray without ceasing. How in the hell can we think I'm getting through what I'm getting through if I didn't have a relationship with Jesus? I would be a basket case. But so, you know, a lot of things just don't add up on this. And so, you know, I'm trying to find out information. And from day one, calling the Westminster Police Department, the freaking night that I called, the night that I heard about it, that was my first call, was to the Westminster Police Department. Start talking to some lady on there. I don't know. I guess she's a cop. I don't know. She starts asking me these questions. So I'm saying, well, I heard you shot my son. That's what I want to know. I want to know why you shot and killed my son. You sure you got the right guy? Because what you're telling me doesn't match up with what is how he is. I see you there. I see all you people there. And thank you. And I'm on my phone, so I can't read this because there's some things that I wanted to share along with this, because we're here trying to tell you, you know, we don't want to just tell you, hey, Timmy's not a bad kid. He was never a bad kid. He's never been in trouble with the law. We just didn't, you know, and I know him get on here and we talk about his dog and we talk about this and we talk about this stuff, but these are things that just going over my mind, man. It's going over my mind, and sometimes it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy, you know. And so, yeah, you know what? And everybody here and around me all call me up, oh, coach, because I'm a football coach. I coached football for 17 years. You know, so I know a lot of people. I have a lot of football players. I have a lot of coach friends and stuff. And there's been a few that have actually kind of stood by me, but they're in prayer and sending me little things to, you know, prayers and stuff in the mornings and stuff. That's really cool. Thank you, Langston Kennedy, Coach Kennedy, for that. The other morning you gave me that post about the woman throwing dog poop in the person's yard and she saved it, planted some roses and then handed them to the lady. That's pretty cool, you know. Yeah, I forgive. But right now I you know, I look at all sides of it. But the thing that gets me is you killed my son and then you want to lie about it. And so Regan and I, we trying to call these people. Well, right then and there, they were talking to me. They were asking me questions the first night. It was like, your son do drugs? Yeah, Timmy partied. He's a 27-year-old young man, single man, partied. Yeah, he partied on his days off. The kid worked 14 hours, 4 days a week. He made, you know, 60, 70, maybe $80,000 a year. I'm quite sure he was out on his day off burglarizing houses. Get the hell out of here. You know what? Don't tell me that. That's just bullshit. And that's all it is. It is bullshit. And so, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we can't. But drone footage shows his cell phone less than 2 feet away from his hand as he lay there on the ground dead. So, so come on, honestly, you're going to have a knife in one hand and a cell phone in the other hand, but yet there's no knife. No knife. Thank you, Don't Be Jonesing. Yeah, I'm speaking what's the truth. The truth is what I'm speaking. And this is all we've ever done is spoke the truth. I knew my son didn't do that. Come on, man. You're playing. You ever see a semi-pro football game? Semi-pro is about a notch above college ball. And college guys, I'm a college fan, man. I'm Roll Tide, you know, Alabama Crimson Tide, you know. Hey, we light dudes up on the field all day long. That's just what we do for fun. And Timmy, he lights people up on the field all day. Semi-pro football is guys that have been in college, and some of the guys that are on the team didn't make it to the NFL, but should have been in the NFL, because in the NFL, you go to a combine. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of history about me and what I do. I coach football, and I coach some pretty big dudes. You know who? You know them linebackers in the NFL, man. Those some big dudes, man. You know, Ray Lewis. Everybody knows Ray Lewis played for Baltimore Ravens. Big dudes like that. That's what Timmy played against. So I mean, he hit guys. He played fullback for me, and he run the ball for me, and he played middle linebacker, and he hit guys the size of Ray Lewis. So do you really think he's going to come out and grab a knife and go after some little skinny rinky-dink cop that barely can freaking walk looking at his picture? Do you really think he needs a knife? He don't need nothing. He wasn't trying to, dude. He was trying to get away from you. You kept shooting him, man. And he had his hands, and I guarantee you, he told you, stop, don't shoot, and you blew him away. Because he didn't even break into those apartments. How could he break into 5 apartments, not steal anything, break into 5 apartments in 20 minutes, 30 minutes worth of time? He didn't have a chance. And then there's another thing. There's another thing out of there. At the time of the shooting, when the cops pulled up there, there's a white pickup speeding out of the parking lot. So my son was out there hallucinating. Walks up on a burglary probably already in progress. And these guys get away, but these guys blow my son away for it. That's what happened. And I'm going to stand on that because I know my son, he didn't do that. Now I wanted to show you some stuff about. I'm in Timmy's room. This is where Timmy lived. I don't know people. He never lived anywhere else. He lived in California. This is the room he's in, and I'm going to show you some stuff. This is just some of the stuff. These are just some of the things that he did. Uh, these are just some of the stuff. These are just some of the plaques, some of the stuff right there that he'd gotten when he played all his years. And up there in that box, I have tons and tons of trophies, of this kid. And there's all my kids right there when they were real little. I don't know if I'm moving this too fast. All my kids played sports. My daughter won that trophy right there, cheerleading. Can you see it? And so here's Timmy's football helmet. See all them stick marks on there? That's what's called stick marks. Yeah, this is my team, County Regulators. We're the County Regulators. I don't know if you can see all them stick marks on there. They call that stick marks. But here's Timmy's high school jacket. That's his jacket when he played high school football. He didn't have time to get in trouble. This is right where he left it. Because when Timmy was going to Colorado, he said, "Dad, I don't want to take my jacket." And I said, "Tim, you can leave it here. You're welcome here. You come back anytime you want." And he says, "All right, Dad, you keep that jacket for me. I'm coming back to get it." You see that? It's got his name on it. It's got his little awards and stuff because he played basketball, he played football, he wrestled. There's his wrestling pin right there, the wrestling thing on there. His physical fitness award, presidential fitness award. This is my son. This is the guy that they're saying they're trying to make out like a common. They tried to make him out as like he's a common thug, like somebody that just barely didn't mean shit to society, And this is what really pisses me off. And here's some medals. I got some medals. There's a basketball medal when he played basketball. His football medal. That's when he was on the all-star team playing. There's some more coach awards, stuff like that. I have tons and tons and tons of memorabilia of my son playing football and basketball and wrestling. I have tons of stuff. I have boxes of trophies up there. I just have, I just did put them up. You move around. In fact, there's Timmy's Bible. He was reading that 2 days before he died. He sent me a picture circled. "Dad, what's this mean?" And I was busy working. That day, and I told him I'll get back to you on it. He was reading that Bible that day, so don't tell me my son was out robbing houses. Here's some more football medals. He has tons of this stuff. Oh, and then he even coached football. Here's his badge. Series Junior Bulldogs. Coach Timmy Henley, assistant coach. He was following in my footsteps. He wanted to coach. He always said, "Dad, me and you need to coach together one day." I said, "Yeah, well, when you get done playing, we'll coach. We'll bring the regulators out. We'll coach." Tim liked the offense. I like the defense. I like them both. I coached offensive line for a lot of years. And then I got into coaching some DBs and stuff like that. That's some defensive backs. Those are the guys that light you up when you try to catch the ball down the field when the quarterback throws it. If you don't know football, that's what DBs do, defensive backs. Yeah, and we fly across the field and knock the snot out of you. You catch the ball on our side of the field, you're going to pay for it. That's just that's football. It's a violent sport. Football is a very violent sport. It's one of the best sports. It's one of the best sports. So yeah, and I'm not sorry that I'm pissed off. You know, Reagan has been the only person that stood by me on this. She didn't have to freak. She didn't have to. I'm quite sure when the first time I seen her text, because we only started texting. God, I was watching a football game one day. I was sitting over here and I was watching a football game, and then she started texting me about it. And that was when I first started talking to her about it. Of course, she just said, every parent saying, yeah, my kid didn't do it. Yeah, well, And then as I have a lot of evidence because I've been going and digging and finding stuff out since September the 4th. This happened September 4th of 2018. And I've been digging and digging and digging. And my son Tommy, his twin brother, he's been digging and digging and digging. We've been digging and digging and digging, and then we have a lot of information, and we're getting more. And so, there's just so much. And we're in California. Could you imagine what them investigators over there for the DA's office, if they were true investigators, how much they could really do there? There's witnesses that they didn't even talk to. And the only witness that they did really talk to was an off-duty cop that just happened to be there at the right time. Bullshit. You think we're stupid? These guys think we're what, in the 6th grade? And we just believe this? We're gullible? Now, the only thing that Regan and I disagree on is I don't hate cops. Okay? I have friends, I have family that are cops. Here in Modesto, California, we don't go around, our cops don't go around shooting people down. They don't do that. In fact, there was just an ad that just went out in the newspaper the other day that the chief of police here, that they fired cops for lying. Okay, so I don't know. But that's cool, man. You can think what you want to think, and I don't hate them. There are a lot of bad ones though, and I'm finding that out. I'm learning that. So here's the thing, and all you that have kids, you have kids growing up. You tell your kids, hey, cops are good. If you're ever in trouble, you need a cop. You need to go to the cops. But did you ever really think that your kid might have been running to the cop because he was being chased by somebody and that freaking cop blew him away? Because he didn't why? Because he didn't want to deal with it? Because he didn't have the knowledge in his brain. Come on, this guy is 51 years old, man. He's been on the Westminster Police Department for a lot of years. He don't know how to talk to people. He can't calm people down and, get them down, He can't tase them, The dude didn't have a knife. So there's no knife when my son's laying there dead on the ground. So, what's the excuse? What's the excuse? Like, you suck at your job? You're scared? If you're scared, maybe you shouldn't be a cop. I have a friend of mine who's a fireman. Me and him talk about it once in a while. We talked before, and he gets off on running into houses on fire. You and me, we run from fire, right? Our house is on fire, we're running out, dude. It takes a certain person and it's a special calling to run into a house engulfed in flames. You and me, we're out. Same thing. So I don't care how tough you think you are. Somebody's shooting guns at you, you're getting the hell out of there. You're not going to go run and fight them and stuff. No. You're getting out of there. Now, if that dude would have been standing out there and he was calling Timmy a bunch of names and stuff and he was challenging Timmy, because Timmy is a passive person. Timmy wasn't an aggressive guy. He was only aggressive on the football field. He knew. Timmy knew once you stepped on the gridiron there and the other teams across from you that he's in war. It's a whole different ball game then. You're in pads, you're in the game, you're playing football. But Timmy out here walking down the street, walking his dog down the street, he wasn't violent. You know, if somebody spit on him, you know, I'm sure he'd tell him, hey, fuck you, you know. Excuse my language. But, you know, I mean, but, you know, he wasn't aggressive. When he's on the football field, yeah, he was an aggressive football player. And when he was wrestling, yeah. When he was even when he played basketball, he was in control. You know, I got in trouble when I didn't know much about basketball. When he was a little kid playing basketball, Timmy'd be down there shooting basketball. He'd get the ball, man. He'd go down there and he'd have it, and he could shoot the basketball. Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. And he'd pass it to the other dude, and the other dude get it down there and get it taken away. And I was like, man, it's crazy, dude. You know, kept telling him to shoot it, and his coach said, hey, I don't want him to shoot it. So anyway, you know, I just thought I wanted to clear something up. And Reagan's not being used. Hey, that woman, man, she's doing some good stuff. You know, she's got a lot of. She didn't know who I am. She's never even met me in person. And we talk on the phone. Her and I, we talk on the phone. We text back and forth, messenger and stuff all the time. Her and her husband, Bo. Bo's a good man, you know. He backs his wife up all the time, you know. And they're just good people, you know. I have people here. I have a guy here. I have a coach that called me right after this happened that I coached him. And he is a freaking investigator for the county here. He's a PI. He says, oh, coach, man, I'm so sorry, man, about to hear about your loss. You know, coach told Timmy, man, bad. Yeah, man, there's anything you need, coach, you let me know. So after we start digging into all this stuff, you know, like 2 or 3 days, maybe a week afterwards, we're like trying to figure out what's going on, what happened. So I call him up and I say, hey, coach, what are our rights? You know, because we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to break the law trying to get into stuff. And he says, oh, hey, don't worry about it, coach. Give me your email address and give me this and this and this and send me on what you got. Let me make some phone calls and all that stuff. Guess what? Never heard from him. We're 6 months down the road. Tried to send him back a call. Oh, I'm in jury duty. See what I'm saying? People, you're alone. You're alone in this. People say, oh, I got your back. I know. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Whatever you need. No, they're not. In fact, you start talking about it too much, people don't even want to. They drive the other way. I saw a guy in a store the other day that used to live next to me. Me and him used to talk all the time. I saw him. I really didn't want to talk to him anyway. I'm tired of talking about it. I saw him look at me, but he didn't know I saw him. He went down the other aisle. That's how alone you get. You know what I mean? But not Reagan. Nope. Not Reagan. She didn't even know me. You know? Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. That makes my heart glad to know that there's somebody that's, I don't even know how far Colorado. I've never been to Colorado. That somebody over there that I could just talk to through Messenger and then talk through on the phone and never meet them and see them on YouTube. And they're helping me get some freaking answers. Try to get some answers, man. That's a lady right there, man. That's a real lady. In the Bible, they talk about people, that women like her. You know? I'm sorry if you don't believe in God, but I do. I know Jesus Christ. Jesus. God in the flesh. He sent her to me to help me get this stuff. And I know she's probably freaking out because this is a lot of different advocacy that she's probably never done. You know? Because I see that Eric dude, man. That dude, what he does, that's not helping nobody. That's just pumping himself up. I don't know what he's doing. He about got his butt beat up there in Oklahoma the other day. So I don't even know the man. I don't want anything to do with him. I don't like that type of stuff. My son Timmy, he wouldn't go for that type of stuff. You know, Timmy, he don't like that stuff. You strap up some pads and get on the football field, and we'll take care of business. That's how it was, you know, and that's how it is. Or you get on a wrestling match, you know, that's how it was with Timmy, you know. And Timmy's that way, and he's always with me, you know. I hear him every once in a while, you know, little things. He's with me. One day I could have swore I heard him say, "Dad, I'm always with you. I'm with you more than you'll ever know." Yeah. I believe in spirit, soul, and body. You know, I have a spirit. I have a soul. I live in a body. And when I leave this world, I'm going to go be with the Lord. Because in the Bible it says, absent in body to be present with the Lord. So did you know, and I'm going to, that all you people, everybody, you were with God before you came into those bodies. So Timmy, that's where he's at. He's with the Lord. His soul's with the Lord. His body's gone. We cremated it. We couldn't even bring my son home and put him in a casket and have a marked grave. That's pretty messed up, don't you think? Pretty messed up. Because it would cost a lot of money. Do you know how much it would cost to bring a dead body? Transport them across state lines? And then have the funeral? You guys know how much a funeral costs. You're looking at anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. It's a lot of freaking money just for a box and a grave. And then if you got a few extra $100 you can throw in a headstone. And we had to have my son cremated. So we don't have a grave to go visit. I have these memories. I have these memories of my son. And they're beautiful memories. And they're never going to leave me. And now I have a beautiful friend in Colorado. And I like it. And she can talk to me about anything. Anything. I don't get offended by things. I'm 54 years old. I've seen a lot of stuff. You know, Timmy is just like me. You know, we step on a football field with totally different people. If I was on a football field, you wouldn't like me. I don't smile. Until the game's over and we've done whooped your ass. But you know what? So I wanted to clear that up. I read that. And hey, if you wrote that about Reagan getting used, being played, and you were just joking, then cool, man, whatever. But no, this woman put her heart into this. Do you want to know something? And I will never do it. I haven't even looked at this drive. I am not going to look at pictures of my dead son all blown to bits. I'm not going to freaking look at it. I see what it's doing to his twin brother. I see what it's doing to his mother. They can't even freaking live life. Because once you see something, you can't unsee it. I don't want to see my son all blown up. He's a beautiful kid. He's a beautiful young man, 27 years old. Would have been 28 in November the 4th. I'm never going to look at those pictures. I don't need to see those pictures. I remember my son when the football field, out on the freaking basketball court. I remember my son out here mowing lawns with me. Me and him, I just mowed this yard today, and Timmy and I put in the sod. We did it over there, and it was just him and me and Timmy. We put that sod in, and he was in, I think he was in high school about that time, and he needed to make a few extra bucks, probably to buy that jacket. Because whenever he needed to make money, that's what I always told my kids, all my kids, my daughter Nicole, everybody, all my kids. If you need something, man, go work. Earn it. And they did. And so Timmy, you know, he has a Jeep. He had that red Jeep. You know, Amazon paid for Timmy to move from California to Colorado. They paid semi truck to load his stuff, his vehicles, everything. They moved them there. So Timmy was moving up in Amazon. You know, I mean, he was only one notch for being a manager. And his plan was, Timmy's plan was, he told me, Dad, I'm going to go to Colorado because I didn't want him to go. I said, no, I don't want you to go to Colorado, dude. I want you around here close to me. There's Stockton right over there, man. They got an Amazon going in over there. Can't you go there? And he goes, no, I want to get away, Dad. I want to start all over. I want to go somewhere I don't know anybody. I just want to put everything behind me. He goes, I want to spend 2 years over there in Colorado. Then I want to come back. I want to hang out with you for a summer. And then I want to head down to San Diego. And I want to go down there and I want to do some more Amazon work. Then I want to come back here. Then I want to, when you're older and ready to retire, I want to take your business. I want to make it big. I want to make it huge. I want Courtyard Lawn Care to be a huge business. You know, 5, 10 trucks. That's what he wanted to do. And that's what he would have done. Because I know Tim. That's the way he is. You know, that's the way he is. He wasn't moving to Texas. He might have talked about it, but no, he wasn't. He wasn't moving there. No. In fact, when he went there, it was the worst time he ever had. He told me all about it. He told me everything. Came back here, he was so upset. You know? He was so upset about his whole trip there. So no, he wasn't going there. He might have talked about it to make somebody feel good, but he sent me a text message. He told me what he was going to do. He told me exactly what he was going to do. And he'd always told me what he was going to do, and he always did what he said he was going to do. And, you know, so that jacket's going to stay right there and that hanging up right there. It's going to stay here till he comes back. He'll probably come back. I don't know. Think he will? I doubt it very seriously, but he's here already. You know, he's here already. And so, oh yeah, here's his shoulder pads. And you see those? They're all tore up because he hit people. He hits people. He hits people, man. With those on. I got pictures. I need to go dig some more stuff out. I got stuff from when he was a kid playing football. I got pictures and pictures and pictures, you know. In fact, this team, the Regulators, I started this team. You know, the Regulators, I got the name off of Young Guns. I like that movie. With Emilio Estevez. I feel like doing some of that right now. But I'm not. No, we'll just let life take care of life. Life will take care of life, don't you think? Somewhere down the road, you're going to do somebody wrong. Somewhere down the road, somebody's going to get you. Hey there, Tommy. I see you on there. You know, so hey, you do unto others as you do want them to do to you. You know, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep on finding out what happened to my son. Because you know what? I know my son didn't do any of it. I know he didn't. It's not in his nature to do something like that. And I'm probably talking circles and saying the same thing over and over again and again. But I had to vent because I was getting built up, you know. And that's how I vent. Trust in the Lord. Yes, John, I do. Vengeance is the Lord. Romans, in the book of Romans. My church has been going through the book of Romans for over a year now because my pastor, he slows down and he starts going through verse by verse, digging into there, you know, digging and finding out the truth, the nuggets, you know, because Paul wrote that. And by the way, you know, Paul was a murderer. Yeah. The thorn in the flesh, I think, is his flesh fighting against the spirit all the time. You know, there's been a lot of theories about that. But yeah, vengeance is the Lord's. And God would take care. But, you know, if I was God, we probably wouldn't have human existence. So I'm glad God's doing it. You know? And I know that probably some people get on here and they don't want to hear about that. But hey, that's just who I am, you know. 3 things you never miss: football game, church, and work. So, you know, I just wanted to get on here and I had to vent that stuff. And especially that part about the kid walking out and the kid Ethan walking out and looking down and walking by my son that's laying there dead on the ground and saying, that's not the man that busted into my house. The man that busted into my house was a Latino man, bald-headed, and was baggy clothes. Timmy was in a pair of shorts like these and a T-shirt and a hat and sandals. Oh, the sandals come up on top of a bed in one of the apartments. The live stream that we got in the Discovery shows Timmy laying on the ground and all these cops going into the apartments. That right there is another red flag. Cops can't go into the crime scene. The crime scene investigators, that's why they have those. What was that? I keep popping up, but I can't see it. But, yeah, crime scene investigators, they go in, they dust for prints, they make everything. But not these cops. No, not these freaking cops. They all bust in there and they all run in there and they take people to tour of the freaking place. Then they bring in the crime scene investigators. Isn't that stupid? They contaminated the scene. Put Timmy's shoes off, took them off his feet and threw them on top of a bed. Threw a knife down. They did find a knife in one of the apartments. It's an apartment. There's freaking knives. I got a knife here in my house. I got a knife out there in my garage. Right? Yeah, so, you know, I'm just, you know, I had to vent that. And there's a lot of stuff about here that we can't really talk about. But these things, me and Regan talked about it, and you know, it was a toss up of either her or me talking about it, you know, and, you know, this woman's done too much already for me. You know, she's done a lot for me. And I think, you know, and 3 officers ran into apartment 19 and they knew someone was there. Yeah, see, cops cannot go into the crime scene. That's why they put yellow tape up all around it, and they don't let anybody in there until they do. But no, not these cops in Westminster. They are the dudes, man. They can't even get their stories straight. They can't get their stories straight. And these are the guys that we pay for to be on the street. I don't care if you buy a soda pop down at the store, you're paying taxes. Them taxes all go into their pocket because they're getting paid. Oh, and then, you know, when we did the city council meeting, Regan asked me, she says, you want to do a statement? I said, yeah, I want to do this. Well, at first I said, I didn't know. And I'm sitting there and thinking, well, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll write a statement for her to read for me. So I prayed about it. And the Lord prompted me to put up Romans 12. I forget. I'm not real good about addresses and Bible stuff. But anyway, it was the part about to where, you know, Paul, he's telling him, I beseech you, you know, brethren, to have a call worthy of your walking or something like that, and talking about him that you're not more. Anyway, so Regan went in there and she read that, and you could have heard a pin drop because she had their attention. And then after she left, because she was so upset after reading that stuff, she couldn't, you know, she just spoke the word of God. The Lord spoke through her right there at that meeting. I felt it. I felt it. When the word of God speaks, you shake. I shook. I felt it. That was the word of God coming from her mouth. And she had the full attention of all them board members. Anybody that was in there, she had their attention. And so After she left, then the city manager, which is the chief of police's boss, gets up and makes a statement. We want to offer condolences to the Henley family. He calls us Hadley family. Yeah, we're real condolences. We do follow up on these. Well, he never did follow up with me. I sent him an email. Reagan coaxed me into doing it. And I sent him an email, Mr. Don Tripp. Didn't do an email, but I would want to talk about. I didn't want to talk about how you blew my son away, how your officer just blew my son away. I wanted to know how much cocaine. You say you confiscated cocaine from my son, but what my son was laying there on the ground dead. He didn't have any cocaine in his person. He didn't have any on him. But yet you went to his house where he lived with his girlfriend. She gave you the cocaine and said it was his. That's another bullshit. Did you test her? Oh, so you guys just make assumptions now. So somebody told you the dude was on cocaine and was flipping out. He told you that he was on a bad trip, So you just automatically think that it's his. Well, how much did you get? You confiscated. You got a search warrant. That's what the dude told me. They got a search warrant. No, they didn't get a search warrant. She let him in there. She gave him the drugs. But how much? How much did you get? That's what my question was. How much did you get? And how did you get the focus on my son? Because when you killed him and he's laying there on the ground, all he had on was shorts and a T-shirt. I mean, how did you figure out that it was Timmy's dope? His girlfriend gave it to Kristen King, the girl that took off and ran. Nobody can talk to. She's all scared, timid. No, she's full of shit. She's not scared. She's not timid. She knows a lot more about this than is going on. And you, Kristen King, if you're watching, we're gonna come get you next. Don't worry about it. You're not getting away. You're not getting away. You can go wherever you move, wherever you want to. We'll find you. We do bounty hunting. We'll find you. You're gonna answer up to what you did. And you did a lot more than what you're letting on to know. You met Reagan and you didn't want any part of that after she got there because she knew she'd expose you. So, yeah. So, that's what I wanted to rant and I wanted to rave about it, and I probably shouldn't have done it. But I'm just really getting sick and tired of freaking having to shut up. I'm really sick of it. Thank you, John Aguilar. I believe in justice. I believe in justice. And John, you pray about this stuff, and God wants all these people to go to heaven. Justice, God's justice is different than our justice. Our justice is take them out, put them in the firing squad, be done with it. That's our justice. That's not God's justice. But God has His own ways of dealing with things. I don't know. But I'm tired of not talking about it. I'm tired of not talking about the facts, about the twisted little lies. Not little, big, huge. Tired of it. I'm just sick of it, And then this city manager, Don Tripp, after I send him an email and he tells me how sorry he is, blah, 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 and I ask him the question, then he sends me over to his chief of police. Okay, so now the chief of police, Tim Carlson. He's the chief of police. He's the boss over all the cops. He don't know this information. Right? He's the boss. But he don't know this information. So know who he refers me back to? He refers me back to the commander. Now we find out this guy is the commander. Dean Villano. He's the commander. He was the guy that Reagan had to go and bust him all. She had that guy. If you heard that video, and she was just asking him simple questions. State it. State the law. State the policy. State it. State it. 42 times she asked him. That dude didn't even know his name. I mean, if you haven't heard that phone call, go in there. No, Carlson, he sends me over there back to Dean Villano, which Right now, you know what? I don't want to talk to any of those people because they're all a bunch of liars. They all lie. They're all lie. The commander, Dean Villano, he's the commander. He's the commander. He's the guy who runs the police. The chief of police runs the he knows everything. I own a business. Anybody who owns a business, if you have an employee working for you and they go out and they bust somebody's window out, the employee don't go call the customer, don't go and call the employee that busted out the window. No, they call the boss. The boss has to know this stuff. So yes, the chief of police, he should know all these answers. I shouldn't have to go any further. Don Tripp, he should have. Yeah, that was probably good for him to send me to the chief of police. And the chief of police, he should already have these answers for me. If he didn't have them answers for me, then he should have got back to me with them answers, right? You would think. I mean, what's he getting paid for? Just to drive around, live in a big fancy house, and take our money? But he don't know anything. Okay. So, I feel better now. Thanks for this therapy session. But yeah, so but things are going to be, we're going to probably, we'll put more out there, more information out there, but that's enough for you to just put in your mind and think about it. Whatever we're saying, this is the truth. This is close to the truth. Yes, he was. He was stumbling over words. I mean, he didn't even know how to, Dean Villano, when Reagan was talking to him, if him being a commander, you would think that he had, when he talked to me on the phone, I'm not like Reagan. She's gifted. She can talk to people. I don't ever want to get her mad at me, and have her come up to me. I told her, I'm glad you're on my side. I am, man, because she's helped me out more than anybody that's ever helped me out there in the state of Colorado. I'm glad too. Reagan. I'm glad. You're awesome. And anybody that says different, we can strap up and get on the field and we can take it out there. All right. Well, hey, I've been keeping you guys here too long. I've given you way too much information, but this is some of the information that you guys needed to have to keep following this thing, because you want to know the truth. You want to know what's going on in your communities too, and I want to know what's going on in there. So, I'm glad that we've got on here and got to get some of this out, because this is stuff that needed to be gotten out there. We're tired of tiptoeing around stuff, We're tiptoeing. The Westminster PD, from what I understand, the whole state of Colorado is in a bad way of cops killing cops and people getting shot and just disrespect to the citizens and totally like that. You come here to Modesto, you don't get that. Maybe Modesto needs to go over there and teach them how to be cops, because over here we beanbag people, we taser people, we handcuff them, put them in jail. That's what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, not murdered and then lied about. Yeah. So, and that's what it was. It was just plain old murder by cop. That's exactly what it was. And then everybody else is going to cover it all up. We'll just cover it all up. The kid just, who cares? That's the way they look at it. Who cares? I care. I care. That's my son. It's my beautiful son you just took away from me. You took away from this family, my beautiful son. I have another one, though. And I hope he stays the hell out of that fucking town. Them fucking cops over there, they weird. Now, see, I'm starting to cuss out cops, But, they're not all bad. Just maybe 95%. I don't know. I really don't. I just know these guys are bad. And they lie. I always knew cops lied. And when I was a kid, I got in trouble a few times. you know. And I knew cops would lie, but they never could get me in trouble because, just didn't care, But now I do. I'm a grown man now. So anyway, hey, I really want to thank you guys for subscribing to this new page. This my YouTube, and stay on mine and Riggins YouTube pages because we're gonna bring out more and more information. We got more and more information coming, and we're gonna get it out there. We're gonna let you guys know exactly what happened, and follow her on her other stuff because this woman is a good woman. It's not everybody that has, you have to have a calling from God to do what she does. If that's not your calling, you're not going to be good at it. And she's good at it, and I think she's learned a little bit different stuff now than what she's used to. I don't know, but I think she's doing a really good job. You're doing a really good job. Yeah. It depends on who you ask here on earth. You got me. Yeah. Well, no, you're good. You're good. Don't ever think that you're not, because you are. You're a good person. You're not some psychopath. You're a good person to do what you've done for me. You are. I agree, John. She sure is. She's a gifted person. She's gifted to do this. And you get these gifts from God. God gifted her to be able to go out there and stand up for people who couldn't. And right now, I'm in California. I can't do anything. And what am I going to do if I did? How am I going to talk to the cops? I don't know how to talk to the cops. I was always taught to stay away from them. When I see them doing a roadside sobriety check, and I don't even drink, and I don't even do drugs. I don't smoke and drink. I go the other way. I don't go up there and jump out and hold my camera in front of them and film them. That's not my calling. I don't do that. I'm glad, Reagan. I'm glad that the Lord used me to help you. And I'm really glad. And, all the praise has to go to God, because he set you and me together for a reason, And I know Timmy being gone, when the Bible talks about, in the book of Ecclesiastes, it talks about a time and place and a time, there's a time to be born and a time to die, time to mourn and all that stuff. Yeah, and I understand, I understand that maybe September 4th was my son's time to go be back with the Lord, and I understand that. I totally understand that. I just went through a whole Bible study right before that with I went through a whole study on that before it happened. And so I understand that. But it's the justice for Timmy that wasn't justice. This isn't justice when, they put 14 bullets into your kid, and then you read the report to where the Engelberg cop is his knee laying on Timmy's back and holding his face in the dirt, and probably put another bullet in his neck, to make sure he's dead. And then there's the fact that they didn't even call ambulance or anything for 6 minutes after he lay there on the ground dying. They want to make sure he was dead. Why? So they can cover it up. They don't want him to get better and go in the hospital and get better. And then there's the cell phone that's nowhere around, but we have it on drone footage. But yet it's never been mentioned in a report. Why? I'll tell you why. Because it has my son's voice saying, "Stop, don't shoot." Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I'd bet my life on it. It has my son's voice. Timmy had his hands in the air. Yeah. He had a cell phone in one hand, and he was telling you, "Stop, don't shoot, bam, 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 bam." Just blow him away. That's what happened. And they can try and lie and cover it all up. But I know my son. Any of you have kids, you know your kids. You know your kids' nature. You know their nature. You know their nature. You know they're not going to do something stupid like that. And tell me, Timmy Henley, being a middle linebacker for 20 years, playing middle linebacker for 20 years, hitting guys as big as Ray Lewis. Do you think he's gonna have to go grab a little bitty kitchen knife to come after you, little skinny cop? No, he wasn't even trying to hit. If he wanted, it's just stupid. It's just totally stupid. But anyway, we've already talked about all that, and we wanted to get on here and we wanted to talk about this, and I want to thank you guys for coming over here and hanging out with me and Reagan. Reagan, I call her Reagan, but her name's Reagan. It's a cool name. All right, well, so you guys tune in next time on that same bat channel at that same bat time. All right, bye.